they will feel like, my reader, do you still love me? So those are all questions. So today we're going to talk about form and structure of question in spoken discourse. First, let me start with the basic idea. So the first one is, what are question forms? Maybe you already know what question is. Question form are, so the point is, question form are sentence patterns when we used to ask something to get it, also to help us to get information or show curiosity, and also to communication better with others. And then for the type of question, the first one is yes or no question. So these can be answered by just with yes or no. So the pattern is the auxiliary or modal subject with verb. For example, like, do you like coffee, or are you coming with us? So those are question. What is it? Because in English, the auxiliary or modal comes first to show it's a question. So if we say you like coffee, so that's a statement, not a question. So if we change it to do you like coffee, so it becomes a question. So the word order tells us the question, so it shows it's a question. And then the second one is WH question. They start with WH words like what, where, when, where, or how. So we use them to if we need more details, and then not just a short answer like yes or no. The pattern is WH word, auxiliary, subject with verb. For example, like, where do you live? Why did you say that? How did you get here? Or when will the class start? Like that. So the WH word comes first to show what kind of information we want. For example, then we use auxiliary like do, does, did, and then to form that's a question, and then the subject with the verb. So the order helps the listener understand what kind of information we expect. For example, like, what are you doing? So we expect that the answer is action or activity, what they're doing. So for the third one is tag question. Are used to confirm something or to check agreement. For example, the pattern is statement plus short question. The example is you are a student, aren't you? It's cold today, isn't it? So the first part is a statement, and then at the end we check if it's true. So if this statement is positive, the tag question is negative. But if we make the statement is negative, so the tag question is positive. So that's why we say you are a student, aren't you? Not you're a student, aren't you? So to make it simple, yes or no question is start with the auxiliary or modal, because we change to the order to show that's the question. And then WH question is start with the WH words to ask for something more details, and then type question is for to confirm or check something. For the next part, we'll pass it to Halesha.
So, continuing from Pina's part, now I'm going to explain about the material alternative questions. So, in alternative question is a questions that giving choices or giving the option. It can be two or more options, and it usually use or in between the choices or between the options. For the example, do you want tea or coffee? So in here, we use or between the options, and it means that the speaker wants the listener to choose one of the options. And for the intonation, in the first option, you must raise your intonation, and for the last option, you must use false intonation. So you can read it by do you want tea or coffee. And next to the next material is indirect questions. So in indirect questions, you can use it because you want to be more polite, and it usually used or often used in formal situations. And instead of using direct questions, you can use introductory phrase plus WH clause or if clause. For example, you can use could you tell me where the library is? So if you just say where the library is, it sounds more rude than could you tell me where the library is? So you can use introductory phrase like could you tell me, and then you use WH clause like where the library is. And the second example is do you know if she's coming? So instead of using just she's coming, you can use do you know if she's coming to be more polite, because there is introductory phrase like do you know and the if clause like if she's coming. Then move on to the next main material. We're gonna explain about the structures of questions in spoken discourse. So in spoken language or in real life conversations, sometimes people don't use formal grammar or clear grammar like in the writing, because sometimes people want to be more flexible and sometimes it can be incomplete. And the example of the structure of question, there is ellipsis or omission of elements. So ellipsis is some words that have been omitted or left out because they are already understood from context. For example, you can use coming instead of are you coming, and you can use finished instead of are you finished. Then for the next presenter will be presented by Izmi.
And the next is rising intonation. In conversation, a rising intonation can indicate a question even if the form is not interrogative. It means in the rising intonation that the sentence, the question sentence is rising or goes up in the end. The example is you're going like that. And rising intonation also it makes the sentence question sound more polite. That the example, imagine that we want to ask someone like, then are you, Pina, are you sure that, example, are you sure? But with rising intonation, it sounds more polite, like, are you sure? But if we use falling down intonation, that it will hurt like, are you sure? It sounds rude. The next is question fragments. Short sentences often used in fast-paced language. In question fragments, it's just simple like one word, really, who, or when. And the question fragments are incomplete questions that still make sense in conversations. And usually in spoken, people not used in full sentence because the meaning is already clear from the context. And the next is multiple question in one turn. Sometimes speaker combine several questions at once and confirm or clarify. And in the multiple questions, it happens when someone asks two or more questions in the one speaking turn. It's common in spoken discourse when people want more details or show something emotion. For example, so you met him yesterday at the cafe alone, and the intonations at the multiple question for the first question and the second is rising up or rising goes up. So like this, you met him yesterday at the cafe, and the last is have falling down intonation for to show the end of the third alone like that. And the next is quiz. We have a quiz here. Gak kelihatan ya, nanti nextnya ayo gak?
Dipotoin.
Ada gak?
Kan dibacain meren. Ayo.
Oh dibacain.
Tok dipoto.
Jawabannya nah jawabannya apa deh? Jawabannya apa deh?
Jawabannya di mana? Ih, ayo kan. For the first quiz. We can choose false or true. You can choose false or true for the question.
The quiz is true or false. False question. The first is Udah ada belum? Udah. Nah, the first is you coming is incorrect in spoken English. It is false or true? True or false? Angkat tangan. Raise your hand if you choose true. Gak ada. Berarti siapanya pilih false? Jadi false. The answer is false. And the second question, he said, "What is a rude way to ask for repetition?" And is it true? Yes. True? Really? And the answer is false. Why? Di spoken mind itu bukan kalimat kasar, bisa juga kayak ungkapan terkejut gitu. Jadi juga bukan yang sesuatu yang bisa jadi dianggap kasar, tapi tergantung konteks. Tergantung intonasinya. The stress of the question, like he said what? Misalnya gitu. Right. And the third is you like it, isn't it? Is it correct? Like question. True or false? Exactly. Kalau you like it, kan do you like it? Seharusnya don't you like it, isn't it? Don't you like it? Itu ellipsis ya, artinya do you like it? And the fourth is you got paid. You get paid? It's wrong. False. Yeah. Ya, mah bisa matrin ya. True. Acan. Terakhir kalau false lagi aku gak percaya. Kalau percaya musrik, percaya kamu. Are you coming? And you coming have exactly the same meaning. True or false? And yay! Jangan terus isi ya. So thank you for that's all from our presentation. Thank you for all your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.